Black Mage 7.2 changes. Black Mages, I feel you. I feel you more than I think any other content creators are willing to put their own neck out on the line for and say what I'm about to. This isn't going to be nice, and this isn't going to be pretty. And I waited days for anyone to make these points, and no one did. I suspect in large part because they were afraid to. This is a massive issue that impacts you even if you couldn't care less about Black Mage, never planned to play it. Because next expansion, 8.0, when I and many others were privileged enough to go to the media tour, we were told 8.0 was going to be the major job overhaul and job identity expansion. How big a deal this is to Final Fantasy XIV as a whole cannot be overstated with that in mind. What we see here is giving us clues to what we're going to see in 8.0. This may be our only opening to make it clear what we want and what we hope for before it's too late. I wish that was hyperbole. A lot of people are going to put in the comments, oh, that's doomsaying, we're only in patch 7.2. The thing is about development is a long process. And so what they're going to be hearing now is absolutely going to start being the fundamental foundations and pillars that lead into 8.0. You don't make an expansion at the last second. Gloves are off because this has been many years, and I'm gonna say some shit that is well overdue to be said. Everyone says the same thing.
Black Mage is coming in 7.2 and it's bad. Blah blah blah. It's bad for Black Mages.
And I just told you why this is going to impact everyone, even if you don't play Black Mage. Have we not had enough of the homogenization? At what point have we finally had enough of it? Am I the only one sick of the homogenization that has overtaken this game? Just what we need. To homogenize the jobs so that they are perfectly interchangeable with no distinguishable features. Screw their cult following, screw the people who like them, screw the people who spent years mastering that job, and all their care and love that they poured into it. We're bringing out the damn sandblaster. We're gonna shave every last unique little jutting out piece so that it's all smooth and all the same. Do you want to know a secret about me? And I'm not messing around with this, it's actually legit. I may get cancelled over on shitter about it, but I'm gonna say it so that you understand the gravity of what I'm saying. If I didn't play healers, I'd have quit Final Fantasy XIV years ago. By all means, clip it, take it out of context, it's the bitter truth. Oh, Cole's gonna be ashamed about if I bring it up in 4 fucking months. No, it's the fucking truth. About fucking time I said it. I don't play DPS, not because I don't want to, but because my DPS job was sandblasted, sanitized, and every unique feature of it scrubbed and scraped and chipped away. And then I get to hear en masse how happy I should supposedly be, how this completely unique pet and dot job was turned into the most fucking brain-dead DPS in the game, and how ungrateful I am for it. I agree, the visual effects are really pretty, but the visual effects is what you're falling for. The actual gameplay is completely ruined. And so I just stopped talking about it because I was fucking sick of the backlash and talking to a wall of idiots who clearly didn't give a fuck about Summoner or its cult following or any Summoner player, and they want to just sound virtuous, give me my virtue points, supposedly defending the game. And here we go again, and I'm seeing the same shit on Black Mage. Thankfully, this time people are not completely just falling over. But as someone who was playing Summoner during the high of this game, and then saw the rework and got backlash for it, I did not get the same reception for my job, and maybe that's why I'm so pissed. Because I'm seeing it again for Black Mage. Nocturnal Astrologian was flat out removed from the game because no, we couldn't possibly have had 3 barrier healers in Endwalker even though we literally have objective video evidence of Nocturnal Astrologian solo healing the current ultimate at the time, the Epic of Alexander. No, we're just gonna delete half of Astro's kit and screw any player, which I was one of them, that liked doing it. The main reason why was because some people just couldn't divine from the stars that Celestial Intersection is an amazing OGCD regen that you could put on tanks and dungeons. Why are we deciding the fate of an entire class based on dungeon gameplay in the first place, bro? Like, am I the only one going, what the fuck? No. We have to homogenize, so we're just gonna delete it. What? So now I'm stuck on Scholar spamming the 1 button for 98% of my casts. Broil. It is mask off. Literal 1 button spam. Do you think I'm bored? No? Then I will show you I am bored. Look at this expert roulette. I haven't unlocked one single piece of it. Look at the extremes. I haven't even done one. Why? Because I can't stand it anymore. Scholar has been homogenized and broken down just like Black Mage is now into being stunningly fucking boring outside of Scholar's healing kit, which I will compliment endlessly. I love taking Scholar into Futures Rewritten Ultimate, and then the past Savage tier was also very fun. And that's why I keep playing and doing these things, because when I'm asked to actually heal, the healing kit is really rewarding. I actually really enjoy myself. But then you take it into any lower form of content, and it is agony. I'm literally spamming one fucking button! And that's really one of the biggest issues of the homogenization, which is what we're seeing with Black Mage happen. Is Scholar used to have this amazing damage over time effects that they would juggle. It was incredibly rewarding and engaging. Some of them had a cast time, some of them were instant cast, and it felt absolutely incredible to see them chunking down a target. When you had everything laid out, it was beautiful. It was amazing. We also had Bane, probably better to call it deployment tactics for damage over time effects. We also had Shadowfire. We'd place it on the ground. It would slow targets and damage them. It felt awesome to execute properly. And that is really why I get so frustrated, is because I do care about the game, I do love the game, and Scholar, my main, used to also have the uniqueness to it, and it was all ripped out to make us spam the one button endlessly. Literally homogenized to death, streamlined to death. Uniqueness and gameplay and moment to moment absolutely obliterated to the point where taking it into casual content is painful. You used to also have other things like vary actions in parallel to their own casts. It wasn't an OGCD, it was fully off the rails parallel system. You could use Whispering Dawn as you were midway through cast and revive. We also could choose a different fairy pet. It wasn't just a glamour. Celine would fit perfectly today in Chaotic Alliance raid with their Aeosuna and then her silence, because I've seen people forget the interrupts. I know that tanks and Fizz ranged have it. They don't use it sometimes, and I wipe there in Chaotic Alliance raid. And I will say that to anyone that says that Celine is useless, and yeah, there was a good period of time, it speaks more towards the encounter design, and that content hasn't asked enough out of healers, and finally Chaotic asks us to press the Asuna button. Thank goodness. But my point is, pet choice was also removed from Scholar 2. Just take the hammer and chisel and just knock off that nub. Homogenized. I could seriously continue listing examples, but I'm going to keep it at that. But Black Mages, I feel you. And I'm going to get back to the fact that I personally have no DPS job anymore. There is no DPS job for me that exists in Final Fantasy XIV and Dawntrail. I reiterate that if I didn't heal, I'd quit Final Fantasy XIV, to which I'm sure I'm going to get some snide jackass that completely misses the point saying, well, good riddance, Becky. Congratulations, moron, you completely missed the point. Here's your ceremonial dunce cap, aka the sugarloaf hat. When you take that mentality, you aren't helping attract players to the game with that mentality. You want a diverse set of jobs in the roster, classes, jobs, whatever you want to call it, in order to offer different things to different players, because surprise, surprise, different things appeal to different people. If your goal is to actually help Final Fantasy XIV to continue to grow, to continue to retain players, to get more people active and engaged, is not to homogenize jobs, but rather make them unique and distinguish them based off of their strengths and weaknesses. You little defenders are exactly why we got the game to the state it's in. And I'm sick of it. I'm fucking done. If you love this game as much as you supposedly do, all for Twitter fucking points, you would be saying the exact same shit as I do. But no, you'd rather do it so that you can have a bunch of fucking people give you Twitter likes. You're not helping the game, you're killing the game. Saying that these Black Mage changes are great because, oh my god, maybe the casual players are gonna pick up Black Mage. No, they're fucking not. We have Summoner, my old DPS job. You cannot get an easier DPS job than fucking Summoner. You can't. If, like, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it outright. If you are a casual player and Black Mage is too intimidating to you, then just play Summoner. Why are we taking this away from Black Mage players who have invested years into it, who invest most of their raid prog time into figuring out, hey, where do I use triple cast? Where do I use all this? Non-standard rotations and everything else. How many of you who supposedly think Black Mage changes are good know what non-standard rotation is? Exactly. Fucking none of you, because it's all for Twitter bullshit. But we're going to cycle back to me, because I have faced what Black Mage players are now years ago, and still nothing changed. I loved Summoner. I loved it. I love pet jobs. I love damage over time effects. I love juggling status effects, the life cycles that we would go through, and I enjoyed the rotational complexity that Summoner had, rather than positional complexity, which is what Black Mage had to concern itself over, which is frankly being snapped in half for Black Mage players with these changes. It is being trivialized. So I feel you, Black Mage players. I feel you more than I think any other content creator is willing to put their own neck on the line for and say anything that I've just said. I don't think any of them are going to say any of it. I literally do this for fun, and that's probably why I'm more willing to do it. I'm a full-time software engineer. I actually love this game. That's why I make the YouTube videos. I make, what, like $100 on ad revenue a month? Like, I literally do this for fun. I pay more in Adobe Premiere Pro subscription than I get. So, make of that what you will. I actually love the game. It's that simple. And so what this is, I suppose, a form of tough love, because it's been years of resentment in me brewing over Summoner. I think that this is the most hostile video that I've done, because I really have meant everything I said. If I was not playing healer, I would not be here anymore. And that should be something that you think is sad, because when you have someone who has played this game for a decade, who has literally made a stupid channel that they literally pour money into. I don't make ad revenue off of this. That's not bullshit. I'm paying more into this shit. When I do this, this is because I actually love the game. And when even I can tell you straight up the truth that if I wasn't playing healer, if I didn't like Scholar's Healing Kit, if I did not enjoy the Savage Tier, if I did not enjoy Fru, if I did not enjoy the social elements of this game in my community, I'd be gone. That should scare you. If you care about this game, that should freak you the fuck out. And how it doesn't is beyond me. Do you actually give a fuck about the game? No, I just care about my little followers on Twitter. I get it. I know exactly who you are. Let me get ahead of the bullshit comments saying pets can't work in an MMORPG, because that is what people love to tell me, especially after the Summoner rework. Well, pets just can't work in an MMORPG. World of Warcraft just released its newest Mythic Raid set, and on Warcraft logs, Beastmaster Hunter, a complete pet job, is literally #1 most taken spec into it. Above all other classes and specs, Beastmaster is the #1 most picked Mythic raiding spec. Can you please pull your head out of your own hindquarters and look at the direct competitor to Final Fantasy XIV? It has a functional pet class. And then, in terms of damage over time effect, just can't work in an MMO. It also has Affliction Warlock, which is the premier de facto damage over time stacking effect damage class in any MMORPG. So you're gonna have to forgive me when I say, not buying it. Either that, or you don't think the Final Fantasy XIV devs are as good as I think they are, because I absolutely respect them. They are talented, they are great developers. I do not always agree with the decisions they make, obviously, but I love them. I think that they are great, and I think that their talent absolutely is being disrespected every time I hear, well, pets can't work, dots can't work. Okay, so you think our devs aren't good? You have less faith in our devs than I do, clearly. Not to mention that back in Endwalker, pets got a significant pet sensitivity overhaul. Pet reactivity is no longer a serious issue outside of contrived, very rare edge cases. Scholar uses pets, and one case in point, because people are going to want an example of pet sensitivity, is Mirror Mirror in Phase 2 of Futures Ruin Ultimate, the brand new Ultimate. If you follow the Frumit but good mitigation sheet you need before the first Mirror Mirror damage instance, Fey Illumination out, then you need to pop Seraph out. Then first damage instance of Mirror Mirror, use first Constellation cast. Then after the second damage instance, you use the second Constellation cast before the stack/spread, whatever one it is. In my hundreds of Phase 2 pulls, I've never had an issue performing this exact sequence. And keep in mind, that's also on a healer. This isn't even on a DPS. So the impact of failure there is significantly higher. Or not even failure, the impact of a delay would be significantly higher there. And yet I've never had an issue with that. I will not apologize for expecting excellence from Yoshi P and his team that I personally hold in such high regard. A pet DPS should be a trivial task. They are more than capable of delivering that to us. I'm also going to say the quiet part out loud. Beastmaster is coming later in Dawn Trail, and you should already know exactly why Beastmaster will not satisfy my DPS playstyle. I shouldn't need to tell you it. But because some people will want me to elaborate, can I take it into Occult Crescent? Doubtful. Can I take it into Expert Roulette? No. Can I take it into Savage or Ultimate Raids? No. Can I even take it on the Hunt Train? No. And I mean the relevant Dawn Trail Hunt Train, the one that most people actually do. It's just, no, you can't do this with Beastmaster. No, you can't. So Beastmaster being a limited job is absolutely insufficient. Now, if they remove the limited job aspect and made it a full job with restrictions, sure, like you can only use one particular pet, most likely, ta-da, I'll have a DPS job in Final Fantasy XIV again. Hallelujah, it's been years. And unfortunately, I retain that if I didn't play healers, I would have to quit this game. Because there is no DPS job for me. I'm not being an asshole. There's not a DPS job for me, and that should be something you consider a problem. And I worry greatly, as anyone should, that many Black Mage players will feel the same as I do. And that is exactly why I'm frustrated making this video, because it's, for me, been years, and it's been shoved under the rug for years. And this is not something that we should aspire to do. Sandblast, remove, chip away any uniqueness, any identity, any fun from the job design, because that's what it comes down to. It should be fun. I liked my pets. I liked my damage over time effects, and they're gone. If I want that, I need to quit Final Fantasy XIV and go to World of Warcraft, which I have been playing for the record. Mask off. El Scandalo! Cancel me on shitter, I guess. But it's the truth. Affliction Warlock and Beastmaster Hunter are incredibly fun for me, because El Scandalo, he cheated on me with Gordita telenovela. It's almost like I haven't lied. Like, Final Fantasy XIV just doesn't offer a DPS to me anymore. It used to, and it's gone. So why are we destroying Black Mage and Black Mage's turret caster playstyle? Why are we oversimplifying it? Why are we actively destroying non-standard Black Mage's rotation? Why does everything need to be the same? And so, I speak very much from the heart as someone who has been going through years of being told, "Oh, ungrateful summoner! Disgusting!" It's like I'm talking to someone from Quebec. Girl, it's like I'm talking to someone from Quebec. And I say to this day that it's not okay. And that this, if it goes through, which is looking like it will, is likely going to hurt Black Mage players and enthusiasts. Now we're deep enough into the video that I can be extremely direct, as most won't make it here. Summoner in its current state is so incredibly boring to me. If you want to flat out be carried through content and not think, Summoner is going to be the best job for it. Dancer, a job lauded for how easy it is to play, has like 3 to 4 times as much to worry about with RNG procs, feathers, dance execution, hell, even getting a dance partner out. Even that's more complexity. But Summoner, to mess up its rotation, you kind of actively need to be trying. Like, you don't even really like casting Ruin because that roots you down to cast. So you need to actively be like, I want to sit here and cast that. And frankly, it's the easiest job in the game. There is no pet choices anymore. There's no ability to grind open world fates anymore with Titan tank pet tanking stuff. There's no pet management, no pet commands, nothing. It was all destroyed and turned into easily the single worst, most tragic damage job in the game. And I don't think I'll ever get over how the most involved rotation with the most unique elements into it was just reduced to this absolutely disappointing mess. And you know what I think Black Mage is looking like it's going more towards? It's looking like it's getting summonerized. Like, I've looked at the theorized Black Mage rotations that some people have come up with. Some people have actually sent it to me. Let me not say that. Like, I didn't look too much. People basically sent it to me. And it's definitely in the direction of being summonerized. And that should seriously disappoint anyone who loves this game. Like, if you actually love this game, you should want a unique job. You should want a job with its own cult following that loves it, and being, like, challenged, and for there to be something for them to figure out. Like, who even is this change for? So casual players can approach it? We literally just had Pictomancer added. And it's not fully up my alley, but I can say it was one of the more enjoyable DPS for me. It plays beautifully. It is very smooth. It has a rotation that makes coherent sense. It is a beautiful, well-designed job. Not for me, but it's very well made. And it's significantly easier than anything Black Mage has been. Summoner is another example. Summoner, my DPS job was gutted into the easiest job in the entire game, and I no longer have a DPS job anymore for it. And so Summoner, which I lost out for, isn't good enough for casual players to pick up. Really? So what was it for? What did I lose my DPS for? Other roles exist like Fizz Range and Melee DPS. How do I even end a video like this? Do I say, hey, as a summoner enjoyer, all these years later there has been no attempt whatsoever to make a pet job to replace the pet job that I could take into Savage or Ultimates or even Occult Crescent. There's been no attempt to make a damage over time effect job. That hasn't even been attempted to be added. What do I say? Years later, there hasn't even been an attempt. That I literally don't have a DPS in my playstyle, and so I've needed to go to World of Warcraft to get my fix on that. My full Pure Affliction Warlock, though, is cute as fuck, though. I'm a cute little prey. Ooh, why don't you just come down and gulp me down, Big Daddy Warrior?